Open for Business is presented by Eagle Broadcasting Corporation and Globe My Business. Create your success.
Greetings from the Philippines to the world. It's June 1, 2019, 5:03 p.m. here in Manila. We are on Facebook Live, on Eagle News, and also on our digital channel, eaglenewslive.com. Watch the video also in the Eagle News channel on YouTube. I am Cesar Vallejos. Welcome to the 51st episode of Open for Business. Join me discover the latest news and information in business around the world. Stay ahead of the curve from vision to action. On July 13, to celebrate the SME month, we are inviting you to the Open for Business online and TV launch here at the EBC Atrium at the Eagle Broadcasting Corporation headquarters, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Registration starts at 8 a.m. for the trade fair, SME seminars, and business clinics, and the formal launch of Open for Business on Net 25. Open for Business will not only be online, it will also be on TV starting July 13. Mark your calendar, everyone's invited. And back to our feature today. The peso is 52.25 against the dollar, and at the closing of trade last Friday, the Philippine Stock Exchange Index closed at 7,970.02, up 133.47 points or 1.70%. Nathan Resnick, the CEO of Sourcify, said, "Entrepreneurs should always be trying to expand their networks. You never know whom you'll be able to connect with and where that connection will lead. As relationships become more and more essential to business, successful entrepreneurs need to be at the forefront doing what they can to grow their networks." Mikko Cordova is an entrepreneur here in the Philippines who just did that. We'll know how the owner and founder of Daddy Mick's Chili Crunch and Garlic Crunch expanded his distribution network to grow his business. Let's hear Mikko's story after these headlines from Business Mirror. Japan travel agents to help develop market Philippine destinations. Stock market accounts breach 1 million for the first time. Philippine digital economy to expand 12-fold to 1.9 trillion pesos in 2030 according to Hinrich. And here are the details. Executives of Japan's travel industry vowed to help the Philippines develop and promote more tourism destinations outside Manila and Cebu. Tadashi Shimura, president of the Japanese Association of Travel Agents, and his colleagues promised to send 20 travel agencies to the Philippines to meet with local travel agents and explore possible areas of collaboration. The DOT added that JATA will also support the country's advocacy on sustainable tourism. This developed as President Duterte encouraged Japanese businessmen to specially invest in the tourism industry, with the Philippine government targeting foreign inbound tourists to reach 12 million by 2022. JATA's Shimura mentioned that under the leadership of Romulo Puyat, there have been focused marketing initiatives in Japan for Philippine tourism. He noted that in 2018, the 8.15% growth rate of Japanese arrivals to the Philippines was higher than the total Japan outbound rate of 6%, and thanked the Philippines for supporting efforts to grow the Japanese market, said the Department of Tourism. The number of stock market accounts broke past the 1 million mark based on the 2018 Stock Market Investor Profile Report of the Philippine Stock Exchange. Total stock market accounts reached 1.08 million, up by 25% from the 868,810 accounts in 2017. This was spurred by a 60% increase in the number of online accounts to 625,763 this year from 388,000 the previous year. It may have taken some time to breach this 1 million milestone, but as they say, better late than never. The advent of online trading has proven to be the catalyst for the rapid growth of stock market investors in the last 5 years, PSE President and CEO Ramon Monzon said. The country's digital economy could expand 12-fold to 1.9 trillion pesos by 2030 if the government would hike investments in information and communications technology and ease border restrictions to facilitate greater trade within the Asia-Pacific region, according to the Hinrich Foundation. In its study titled The Data Revolution, How the Philippines Can Capture the Digital Trade Opportunity at Home and Abroad, the HF estimated that the country's digital economy today is valued at about 160 billion pesos. This is equivalent to the 1.8% of the country's gross domestic product. HF research fellow Stephen Olson said that the Philippines is in a great position to expand its digital economy due to its high smartphone penetration rate and fairly open digital trade environment. Despite the country's high smartphone usage, it lags behind its Southeast Asian peers in terms of internet connectivity due to lack of infrastructure, he explained. When Open for Business returns, we will have Mikko Cordova, owner and founder of Daddy Mikk's Chili Crunch and Garlic Crunch. Stay with us. Open for Business will be back.
Open for Business is presented by Globe My Business. Create your success.
We are back. We are open for business, and with me is Mikko Cordova, the owner and founder of Mikk's Chili Crunch and Garlic Crunch. Thank you for coming, Mikko.
Hi, thank you, Cesar, for guesting me.
Okay, Mikko, there's a lot of products out there, but what's your interest with chili and garlic?
Oh, this wasn't really supposed to be a business that I wanted to start.
Okay.
Ever since, okay.
I mean, that's interesting.
But, yeah.
A lot of people, when they go into business, they immediately set it up as a business.
Yes.
In your case, you're telling me that it's not necessarily a business when you thought of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
This wasn't my business 5 years ago.
Okay.
I was in a different kind of industry, but that industry slowly sank. So I had to swim rather than allow myself to sink. Especially I was already having a family, so I had to come up with this. But this one has been a recipe of mine.
Yeah, before you continue, that's great to know, because a lot of SMEs, especially when they go into business and they fail, they would really, that's very hard for them. But in your case, you had to shift immediately. May I know, or can you share what industry was that?
I was into a franchise. I was a franchisee of a certain food chain. We were selling burgers.
Okay.
So we were located in schools, basically.
Okay.
So I already had 5 branches, but remember they had K to 12.
Okay.
So the strength of my business back then was I was located in colleges. But when K to 12 was introduced, there was no freshman students anymore.
I see.
That went through for 2 years, and it extended. So the business that I had before slowly flopped and slowly failed. So,
I see.
Yeah.
So what we did was you immediately shifted to this kind of product.
I had no choice because I had already had I had my daughter back then. So
Okay.
So I had to think quickly and do something about my situation.
How long did you think of it first before you? But you said it's not necessarily what you plan to go into that business.
Yes.
Okay.
This was originally my business right now, the Chili Crunch is a recipe of mine.
Okay.
It wasn't meant to be sold.
Mhm.
It was a recipe, or it was a recipe of mine meant for my diet back then.
Okay, so you're using it for your diet.
Yes,
so it's
yes,
not
yes.
necessarily okay. You are when you say you're on a diet. What is it?
Prior to getting married, I was big. I was like 180 plus pounds.
Okay, wow.
So before getting fit, I was 180 plus pounds prior getting married. So my wife always pushed me to being fit, especially before getting married at that time.
Mm-mm.
Of course, getting married, you wanted to always to look your best, right? So
That's right.
My wife pushed me to get fit and to eat right. Before getting married, back in our household before, we were used to eating oily food, fried foods.
Okay.
The typical Filipino diet, like adobo, hot dog in the morning, everything fried. So I was big, and I was unhealthy back then.
Mm-mm.
So my wife forced me to get thin. Also I got inspired because we were getting married, so I had to do something about my health also. So
You said what was your weight during that time?
185 pounds to be exact.
Okay. So in short, as part of your diet, you had to develop your own recipe and not
Yes.
rely on others' recipes.
Yes.
So how did you discover this recipe?
I went to the gym. I went to the gym initially. So I went to the gym initially. I enrolled in the gym, but 1 year prior getting married. But I was engaged already. But probably around 3 months, I noticed I just lost a little weight.
Okay.
Even though I went to the gym every day, so I had to consult a nutritionist, a licensed nutritionist, and see what was going wrong. So the nutritionist basically told me, "Sir, you have to." She gave me a diet program,
Okay.
wherein most of the foods were either baked or steamed or cooked with no minimal or no oil at all.
Okay.
So that's when my problem started, because mostly at our house, somebody prepared your food and most of it are fried, right?
That's right.
So
You
I
just
had to
have to
learn.
eat.
Yes, I had to learn to cook for my own.
Oh, so in short, you are not necessarily a chef, or you're
No,
not
no,
necessarily
no,
a cook.
no,
Or but do you cook?
I love to cook. I love to experiment. I love to
okay.
experiment. I love to experiment to mix different spices and ingredients
see.
and how it would turn out. So I was forced to cook for myself because I cannot follow the strict nutritional program if I would just rely on what was cooked in the house. So I
Okay.
learned how to cook. And then I remember this stuck into my mind. The nutritionist told me, "Sir, eating spicy food helps boost metabolism." I didn't eat spicy food before. But my fiance back then, my wife right now, their family was into spicy food.
Okay.
So I learned to eat spicy food because of them.
Okay.
And then the nutritionist...
Like what spicy food, for example, Mikko?
Indian food.
Okay. The ones,
Basically,
Thai.
the Chinese
Yeah.
food, the one with chili and everything. So I remember this stuck to me. The nutritionist told me, "Sir, learn to eat spicy food because spicy food helps boost metabolism. It helps boost metabolism. And next, sir, can you try not to eat oily food?" And then it stuck to me. How can I eat spicy food that's not oily. Because
Okay.
the usual chili that you can
Yes.
buy in the market when you go to the groceries, chili and oil, right? Chili and oil,
Okay.
chili, garlic, and
Yes.
oil. So I learned to cook. I learned to cook my own food. So I'd like to make my own chili that would fit my diet. And back then I didn't like to eat red rice, brown rice because the taste was very blunt.
Ah.
Very blunt, sorry. So how can I make my diet
Blunt and blunt.
Yeah. I had to make my eating interesting, so I won't suffer my diet program back then. Hence the birth of Chili Crunch.
I see. That's very interesting. So it was your passion of really trying to lose weight that
Yeah.
gave birth to this product.
Yes, to this product. But back then I didn't sell it because we still had the business.
Okay.
So the business started December 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, December was a good time to start business. Probably this is a tip that I could give to other SMEs. December is the best time to start whatever business that you want, because it's the time for gift giving. Everybody wants to buy. Everybody wants
That's right.
to give something to somebody. So
Yeah, especially if you have a packaging like that.
yeah, but we just come up with that last year.
I see. Okay.
I started with just one brand, the Chili Crunch, the chili and garlic. It stayed from December 2016 till what do you call this? Till a year and a half before we introduced other products. So that's where we started. And starting back then in December, probably because if you have a good, like you said, the earlier topic that you had, it's good if you're an entrepreneur if you have good relationship with everybody else.
That's right.
That's very, very essential. So,
Okay, if you have a good relationship with, of course, you start with your family. My other question, Mikko, is, of course, you developed it for your own because it will help you lose more weight. Now, was there, in terms of product testing, in terms of product development, what did you do to ensure that this is really different from the other, the chili sauces and the other condiments that are in the market?
Oh, I have a lot of friends. So prior marketing it, but ever since it was a recipe of mine, most of our relatives, most of my wife's sister and friends of friends would always, whenever they were able to taste my product, they always wanted to buy the product. They would always ask my wife or my sister, where can we buy the chili that you made us taste?
Okay.
Ever since, they always ask me, always ask my sister, always ask my brother, always ask my wife and my wife's sister, where did you get that chili? We never tasted something like that before. So that's where it started. I mean, I didn't want to sell it before, but there was a small clamor for it.
Okay.
When people tasted it, they would say, "Wow, this is good chili. This is really, really good." Not to brag about my product, but that was the feedback before that made me think, it's maybe it could be a business later on.
I see. Now, I just want to go back to the nutritionist. Was there a certain volume of a spicy food that she asked you to eat or taste to help your
Not
diet?
really. She
Okay.
just said that eating spicy food helps boost metabolism, but I wanted to boost my metabolism most of the time, so I literally mixed it with all of my food back then.
I see. Okay. Now, so everybody tasted it. They wanted to. They always ask you, and of course, you sometimes maybe give it to them. But now, what was the point where you decided to create a business out of it?
I didn't want to make it a business in the first place, like I said, but the business that I had was already sinking.
Okay.
So, to the point that when I looked at me and my wife's bank account, it was literally going to negative. So, and vaccine back then for your daughter's vaccine would cost around 5,000 to 7,000 pesos.
Yes.
And I was already I was out in the industry before I got into a business. I was a salesman. I was a van salesman. I literally load the truck and went sari-sari store to sari-sari store just to sell a specific product for a multinational company. That's where I started. And I said, I was in the business, I was in the franchising business for 5 years, and then I said to myself, can I still go back to work? So a lot of questions was going through my head, do you think I could still go back to work now that my business was sinking? I was already, I'm 37 now, and I was going 35 that year. So I said,
still young.
Will my age be marketable? And I was used to being a boss of my own time. So there's a conflict of, should I go back to work? And so I said to myself, I have to do something about it. So we started just to sell. We just started to sell the product. Cooked a few batch. We started. I forgot to tell the story. My sister was the one who encouraged me back then, because there was a friend of hers who would always bug her or nag her to, can I buy your brother's product? So back then in December, she told me, my sister told me, my younger sister told me, her name is Vel. She told me, Kuya, can I help you? I'm freshly graduated. Can I help you sell while I don't have a work yet? Can I help you sell your product, and let's work together and sell your product? So, and then I told myself, yeah, why not? Because the business that I have right now is sinking, so why not give it a try? So December, me and my sister helped. She helped me with the product. We started selling through our relatives at first. So your first market would usually be your relatives.
That's another tip. They have to your circle of influence.
Your first sure market are your relatives, definitely. So they would be the ones who believe in your product. And then
how did you position it in terms of like say pricing, or in terms of packaging, or in terms of marketing strategy? What was it that you told your market that this Daddy Mix product is different from the rest?
I'm confident enough to say that it's the taste that it's the taste that boosted the product. It's mere taste alone that helped it spread where it is right now.
I have yet to taste it, but gaano siya kaanghang? Like say for example, from 1 to 10.
Good question. The original recipe of mine, because it was meant to be for my own consumption, was very, very spicy.
So 1 to 10, 10 yung sa'yo?
Not really. Probably around 7. 7 at that time. So that's already spicy for people who are not into spicy food. So it was already 7, but I remember you asked me earlier who tried my product first. So I let my friends try my product. 1 out of 10 friends of mine, it stuck to me. One out of 10 friends of mine, he said he liked, but he wasn't not into spicy food. He said he liked my product, but can you just tone it down a bit? So it stuck to me. If I'm going to make this into business, I need to cater to everyone.
That's right.
Not into specific people who only like spicy food. I want everybody to learn how to eat spicy food somehow. So I tapered it down from probably 7 to 4. The spicy level now is, I could say, probably 4. So it's meant to be eaten by everyone.
So you just have to add more just in case you want it hotter.
Yes.
So now, in this case, Mikko, a lot of startups and entrepreneurs also fight those difficulties in terms of financing, in terms of getting more funds. What were the initial challenges that you encountered?
I remember very, very vividly. Started at the backyard kitchen of my parents' house. I just literally bought a stove.
So parang
non-stick pan.
So parang Google na.
Yes, I started at the backyard kitchen of my parents' house. That's where me and my sister started. So I basically cooked there. Just probably cook 3 times a week upon demand. We started cooking like 27 bottles per day. So by the start of December, we started December 3. By the end of December, we were able to sell around 455 bottles the whole month of December. 455 bottles by the whole month of December.
Pero what was your point of reference? How do you describe that volume? Is that already too many, or is that already
after December, because probably it was given as a gift to that 455 people that it get out to, it literally boomed after.
Wow. So from let's say from 455 it went to, what's the next level?
Right now we're already producing around 500 plus bottles per day. Per day.
Wow,
From
per
the
day.
455
455 for the whole month
Yes.
to 500.
550 to be exact. 555.
550
Yeah,
a day.
Yeah, per day.
Okay. So what was the next step? Of course, a lot of people, especially now in the food business, there's a lot of competition. You know, there's a new food concepts out there. There's a lot of markets that offer new trends. And you know, what was your strategy to ensure that this will be known by, you know, more audiences or more customers?
To be honest, we're not yet into that part of strategizing how to be ahead of the game. We're just now basically trying to improve our facility. Luckily we've been a DOST, Department of Science Technology beneficiary. So we were granted a loan by DOST. For startup entrepreneurs, DOST is a very helpful government organization. They will help you, they will fund you, they will train you. So right now we're working hand in hand with DOST.
So that is very important because,
Yes,
like, say
yes.
if you are a small business owner and you wanted funding or you want technical assistance
and training for your people.
So there is a government agency like
Yes.
DOST,
Department of
that you
Science
can
and
help.
Technology.
So how was the application? How easy is it, and how will they be able? What was the specific requirements for you to avail of that facility?
Just write a letter of intent to them, and they respond very, very quickly, and they're very, very helpful. Very, very helpful especially for us SMEs. They're very, very, very helpful. So right now, they helped us with our good manufacturing practice training, our food safety training. They helped us HACCP awareness. They helped us from backyard kitchen to a small commissary. And right now, we have a small plant.
Wow.
So we have a small plant targeting to produce 100% or 10 to 100% of what we're producing right now, getting
Wow.
ready for export market.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so Department of Science and Technology was a big help. With that training, with the setup program that we had, we just recently we got our FDA license already because of the help of
DOST
DOST
as well.
as well.
So in short, with DOST, they will not just give you that specific funding. They will also help in the
Yes.
many areas
all
of your
throughout
operations.
the program, whatever assistance you need, technical assistance. If you need to retrain your people, they will go there to train. If you have difficulty with the machines that you acquired from them, like right now we have a big cooker kettle from a small pan. Right now we have a big cooker kettle, 100-liter kettle, in which you could cook one batch, the whole day batch. You could cook it in 1 hour there. So right now, if you're having difficulty, they will assist you, technical assistance, because they have food techs involved with them. So they will help you with whatever technical assistance that you need.
Okay, so that is very critical as well because, of course, with the OST, you know, they're really focused on product safety, on sanitation.
Yes.
So
yes. Food safety.
food safety, making sure that everything would be safe for consumption by the consumer.
Of course, our customers always matter.
But were they did they also try to like say influence you on your recipe? Or
No,
like,
no.
so that's a
Yes,
no.
yes,
So
yes,
that's
yes.
non-negotiable.
No, not really. But they don't. They
I see.
just help you with what you need.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we will also talk later when we get back about on how technology and e-commerce and the distribution of mixed chili crunch and garlic crunch was helped by the use of technology when Open for Business returns. Stay with us. for Business is back, and with me is Mikko Cordova, the owner and founder of Daddy Mikk's Chili Crunch and Garlic Crunch. Mikko, there's a lot of discussions on digital transformation, on how SMEs can take advantage of the digital platforms available in the market. And also, based on my latest report, with the digital readiness of the Philippines, some say that, as I mentioned earlier, although a lot of Filipinos use smartphones, a lot of us, there's more smartphones, I think, than the population of the Philippines. I hope I was right with my data. But it's not yet maximized. But according to reports also, it's really this kind of technology that should be used by SMEs, because SMEs like you are like micro multinationals.
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
you also reach the different countries all over the world in marketing your
exactly.
product. So in your case, how did you expand? How were you able to use technology in making sure that this exciting product can be not only tasted by Filipinos but other foreigners in different parts of the world?
So, for SMEs, social media is very, very important. That's what I can say. Number one tip that I could give: take advantage of social media. It's free.
Okay.
It's free. Take advantage of it. The business platform where I started selling online, basically through Facebook. So Facebook, through your friends, basically just messaging you, can I buy your product? Can I buy your product? And then later on, you created your Facebook page because there was a demand for it. I didn't know back then, December, that there would be a demand.
Okay.
I didn't know that people would like my product in the first place, because I left it just for myself. So I didn't know that it would reach out to other people and it would grow and grow. So back then, the platform was just basically Facebook and then Instagram. So the two social networks are basically the foundation of Daddy Mikk's Chili Crunch. That's our strong market. Those
Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, those two social networks. So so you have to have your own Facebook page, you have to have your own Instagram account. So that's where all the inquiries would come in. Basically most of
But in your inquiries now, like say on Facebook and in Instagram, do you now use the latest trend, which is chatbots? Like for example, is there someone who automatically responds?
Yeah. So right now we do have a office help who responds to our Facebook page and our Instagram account, because the business is growing, so somebody has to attend to it. And most importantly, you have to have a very reliable service provider.
Okay, agree.
Because so whenever, even if you're mobile, you have to be able to answer if there are inquiries, because people tend to be impatient. If you respond very long, they might lose interest. So for me, another tip would be answer most of your inquiries as early as possible.
Okay.
So answering as early as possible is important, because your customers will feel that they're being taken care of, even in social media. Because right now everything is social media. Like before, when I was a van salesman, selling was face to face. So there's a personal touch. Right now everything is social media. So how do you extend that personal touch, or how do you extend that what they call this? How do you extend that feeling towards your customer that they're being taken care of? So you have to be able to answer very, very quickly through the inquiries, orders. Just basically answer quickly. So for me, having a very good very good network provider or mobile service provider is important. I cannot lose signal, or I cannot have no signal at all. Most of the time, 80% of the time, my wife would always joke me, Mr. Facebook, Mr. Facebook. Mr. Facebook, 80%, probably 70% of my days on Facebook answering orders and inquiries, or just boosting social media. So I have to have a very good service provider, and I'd say, can I say it?
Yeah, yes.
Globe. Ever since back in college when I was studying, Globe has always been my choice of service provider. Never failed me.
And Globe My Business has been supportive of SMEs. What solutions of Globe My Business have you used to
GCash. So
Oh,
now they
you're
could
using
yeah.
GCash.
Now your customers can pay to GCash. Very reliable as well.
Mhm.
And their fast internet. It's just basically the fast internet that they can provide you, the 4G that they can provide you is already really big help. Just being able to check the page, being able to answer Instagram or your Facebook accounts is important already. And also your phone line, because not only
Yeah.
through what they call this, through the Facebook, but text messages and calls, you must be able to answer whenever somebody calls, or you must just return their messages. So I do believe it's very crucial for the business.
In your case, you don't have to have several mobile phones because everything is online. Or
Actually,
do
I do have not right now. I separated my personal number,
Okay.
but I still got Globe for dedicated for the Daddy Mix Chili Crunch hotline.
Interesting. Now, talking about e-commerce, I know that it's not only distributed here in Metro Manila, but you have already expanded in the different provinces.
Yes, right
Okay.
now we have 53 distributors all over the
Wow.
Philippines, from Ilocos Norte to down in Mindanao.
How did you build that network of?
Through Facebook Manager.
I see.
Through Page Manager, people would just send you a message. How can we apply as a distributor? We tasted your product. My auntie from the States brought it back. It's the funny story. Most of my distributors, they tasted the product from their relatives coming from the US. Not
Interesting.
here.
Uh-huh.
That's a funny thing. That's how social media. Spreads very quickly.
Yeah. Now, some of our viewers may be watching. What are the requirements if they would like to be a distributor of your product?
Just message or email us at daddymix@gmail.com. We'll reply to you with send us a letter of intent if you want a distributor. We'll reply to you with our distribution proposal.
Okay, interesting. Now, also talking about e-commerce, that's the only way for SMEs to reach out to the other markets. I understand that you have begun marketing this your product to the different countries. Can you
Yes.
talk more about this?
SMEs should, especially if you're into the food, join food communities or food pages. It helps a lot. So right now there's a food page that we're Globe and us we're engaged with. It's called Let's Eat Pare. If you've heard of that, it's a very good community. They post positivity in Let's Eat Pare. You cannot bash other SMEs there. If you want, do it somewhere else. But that page is dedicated to help SMEs. So if I'm a small business, I cook my own food. If you join them as a vendor, it's a good platform to start.
So that's another tip. Let's Eat Pare is like an online community.
Yes, it's an
correct?
online food community. If you love to cook, I mean, there's a lot of Filipinos who are really good cooks. I'd like to say, our fellow countrymen, a lot of us are really good cooks. We have that taste in our tongue. That we like food that's very tasty. We just don't like food that dull foods. You know, you like food that has flavor and has life in it. So if you're a really good cook, if you have a product that you like, I mean, you like to sell something, or a bagoong, or for whatever specialty that you have, you could sell it in that page. But you have to apply first, of course. They screen you in that page.
I see. But in that online community, will they also look at competition there? Like say,
They accept mostly. There's no competition.
Oh,
Everybody, and the good thing about that community, because I'm already a vendor in that community, I'm a part of the community. All of us help each other. There's no crab
good.
mentality in that. That's the founder insisted on doing that. There's no crab mentality here. Everybody helps each other out. So if I have a chili product and that one has a chili product, it's okay. At the end of the day, taste is subjective, right?
That's good. That's
So
good. Yeah, that's a good point.
we cater to different tastes depending on the person. So you can't say mine is. I'd never say mine is better than yours. Probably somebody else would like your product more than mine. So it's okay.
Again, because that's online community, you have I think Globe My Business is supporting online communities to really
Yes.
promote. They're into the promotion of food businesses and
Mhm.
also sustainable tourism. So to you, what is the a role of technology providers or solutions providers in making sure that you continue to grow your business? And in terms of the savings of your business, were you able to save a lot because of these technologies?
Because there was a time when food parks boomed, right? Remember?
Yeah.
And if you're a new entrepreneur or you freshly grad culinary graduate, and you have the money, you'd pay to get a stall
Mhm.
in the food park, and you only have a limited market. And sometimes it's just a fad. I'm not dishing all food parks, but most that I saw in my personal experience closed already. Most of the business sacked. So it's a heartbreaker for startup entrepreneurs when they spend or invest, and then in the end of the day, you'll just close in a short period of time. The good thing about social network is you don't have to pay that fixed amount monthly. Or you don't have even to have a manpower. You could cook by yourself and you package it and then sell it online. So it's a good platform for startups. Really, really good platform for startups. Really, really helpful for entrepreneurs who doesn't even have the money to start. I just had 6,000 pesos when I started my business.
Wow,
in my
interesting.
in my pocket. So it's a really, really good platform for startup business to start online.
Wow, interesting. Now, before I ask you another question, let's greet the people who are watching. We have Rene Campagna NT, Jackie Peralta is also watching, Joanne, Karen Garcia, Arthur Angeles, Scott T is watching, Mark Tanseco del
Oh,
Rosario.
that's our founder of Let's
The
Eat Pare.
founder of Let's Eat Pare.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can invite Mark del Rosario
Very,
in
very
the show
good
as
guy.
well.
Very, very good fellow.
George
Big heart.
Salinas is also watching, and Carl Kema. Marky de la Cruz of Globe My Business is watching. Jigs is also watching. Now, Mikko, we know that it's the aim of all small and medium enterprises to reach out to wider audiences. In your case, you said you are now marketed in different parts of the world.
Recently, we exported to Australia. So it's on transit probably right now.
Okay.
We exported to Australia. We've been with Amazon USA since last year. So one of our distributors was able to bring it to Amazon USA. So we're being sold at Amazon USA right now. So our kababayans in the US, if you want to order Chili Crunch, you could just log into amazon.us. So our product is already there. So I just finished a meeting 2 weeks ago with a future New Zealand exporter too. So I would like to say I'd be proud to bring a Filipino product out there in the world. I want the world to know, I want the other country to know that Filipino products are good. They're of quality, they're of good taste. I want to be at par out there. I mean, if Thailand has sriracha, if America has Tabasco, I want the Philippines to be known as, they have Chili Crunch or some other chili products that, because there's a lot of Filipinos who are good hot sauce makers. Not only me, but a lot of them. Really, really good. I encourage everyone to try them also. There's a lot of good hot sauces here in the Philippines.
Now, since you already have tried making this, are there plans of coming up with a new taste or a new flavor or a new product line to expand your business?
As of the moment, probably just another flavor, but these 3 products alone are eating up our time. They're sold out quickly. So we need, right now we're concentrating on expanding our operation, how we can produce more, because orders from other countries are interest are slowly coming in. So that interest probably might be future orders. So we have to be prepared for that. And at the same time, we don't want to lower our quality. So our quality is always a must be, a top priority for us. So quality is number 1 for us. So
how do you ensure that quality is maintained? Do you have specific standards that you follow?
Every day we would like our products to be fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So freshness of our products is we source it from farmers here locally also. So our garlic is sourced from garlic and chili is sourced from Bongabon, Mindoro.
Okay.
We're straight from the farm. So there's somebody who delivers from their farm to us daily.
That's a good point also, Mikko, because as an entrepreneur, you're also helping farmers, small businesses.
Of
You are
course.
part of the sustainability of
course.
communities. So, what's your strategy in helping those? Do you really source out to different provinces?
I'd prefer if the products that we our raw materials are sourced locally. I'd prefer that over imported imported raw materials. Even our black pepper, would you believe, is grown on an organic farm. I'd like to say hello to Nayang Kalikasan. George Salinas
Okay.
is watching us also. He has a farm in Silang Cavite. They grow organic black pepper. Would
Oh,
you believe? So
interesting.
I source that because if you're not careful with that, sometimes there's an experience of ours. We bought black pepper from the supermarket. That black pepper contained papaya seeds
Mm-hmm.
as means of extender. So that
Mhm.
that alone already affected my production back then. So we're very weary of that. Those kind of stuff. So it's important that freshness and the supplier that you have to be careful with those things.
Mm-hmm. Now we're running out of time, but I just have a few questions. How is can you also discuss your profitability? Because we know that a lot of entrepreneurs there who may have the same experience like you. I can sense that you are an accidental. Let's say, as you mentioned earlier, it was not really planned to be in this business. But
Yes.
some of those who are really planning to set up their own business, what is it that they should really um, look forward to in terms of making sure that that product that they develop is something that will click in the market?
Basic tip that I'd like to tell other entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneurs: you have to have good rapport with everybody around you. Because your friends and your family are your first market. If they don't like you, they won't buy your product, even if it tastes good. I mean, if you don't have that good rapport with everybody else, your product won't get that far. That's from my experience. If you have good rapport with everybody else, you have to have that. You just establish that. Be honest with everyone. Be helpful with everybody. Other startup entrepreneurs, if they want to ask advice from you or ask for help, give it. Don't hesitate to help. Give a helping hand. That's probably one of the tips that I could give. Have a good rapport. It's important.
Okay, that's great. Well said. Now, next month will be SME month. So I'd like to ask Mikko before we ask you to go. What is your vision for the SMEs here in the Philippines? And personally, also, what's your vision for your company?
My vision for my company, like I said earlier, I want the world to know that there's a proudly Philippine-made product. If I could put that in my package, but FDA says you can't put that kind of word, but I'd like to say proudly Philippine-made. I want the world to know that here in the Philippines, not only are the people friendly, not only that we are very kind towards other people, but here in the Philippines we have good products. We have delicious products here in the Philippines. So I want to be out there. Chili Crunch. It's made in the Philippines. So I want to be. I want our product to be remembered. Oh, it's a good product from the Philippines. So that's my vision. I want the world to know that there's a good product that's proudly Philippine made.
And your final word to SMEs as well, who are watching now.
Like I said earlier, don't hesitate. Start. Don't be afraid to start. Don't be afraid just to make that first move. If you have a product there that you know in yourself that is really good, cook it, bring it out there. Don't hesitate. The what ifs are your closed doors. If you don't make that first step, nothing would happen.
Perfect. That's the owner and founder of Daddy Mix Chili Crunch and Garlic Crunch, Mikko Cordova. And before we leave and thank Mikko, I'd like to also greet Cheryl. She said support local.
Yes.
And Joey Galvez is also watching. Thank you, Mikko, and hopefully you
Cesar.
can join us in the celebration of SME month next month. And where if our viewers are watching, where will they find?
Visit
your
our
product?
page. Our Facebook page is Daddy Mix. It's DADDYMIKKS. That's Daddy Mix. You can see our distributors. If there's a distributor within your area, you can see it there for our official list. Also, our Instagram page. It's Daddy Mix at Daddy Mix. It's DADDYMIKKS.
Okay, and thank you, Globe My Business,
Of course.
for your support to
Yes.
the small and medium.
Thank you for
enterprise.
supporting us SMEs.
Okay. Open for Business will be back, our term of the week and our quote for the week when we get back. Stay with us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
In our term of the week, you take a refresher of business terms to make you updated, more informed, and ready to make smarter business decisions. Our terms for the week are reach and impression. Reach is the total number of people who see your content. Impressions are the number of times your content is displayed, no matter if it was clicked or not. Think of reach as the number of unique people who see your content. And the code of the week is from Kame Huis. She said the first rule of social media is that everything changes all the time. What won't change is the community's desire to network. Join us again next Saturday, 5 p.m. Philippine time for another episode of Open for Business, where we discuss business information, deliver the latest business news to keep you informed and open for business and be ahead of the curve from vision to action. You're on Facebook Live on Eagle News, and you can watch us again in the video section of the Eagle News Facebook page and on eaglenewslive.com. Also visit postinglive.com for news and updates on Open for Business. Catch me later at 9 p.m. and every Wednesday also at 9 p.m. on Net25's Eagle News International as I report more business news here and around the world. And again, on July 13 to celebrate the SME month, we are inviting you to the Open for Business online and TV launch here at the EBC Atrium at the Eagle Broadcasting Corporation headquarters, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Registration starts at 8 a.m. for the trade fair, SME seminars and business clinics, and the formal launch of Open for Business on Net25. Open for Business will not only be online, it will also be on TV starting July 13. Mark your calendar, everyone's invited. And before I end the show, allow me to greet my wife Lyra. A happy birthday. It's her birthday tomorrow, June 2. For Open for Business, this is Cesar Vallejos. Have a great day.
Open for Business was presented by Eagle Broadcasting Corporation and Globe My Business. Create your success.